How is everyone? I'm John.
I'm Gabby.
And that makes
Joby.
Where everything isn't always so
black
and white. The topic we're going to talk about today is how we treat one another. I think this is going to be an interesting subject to talk about too, because throughout the course of the day, I don't think we're going to really focus on how we treat each other or the people we come encounter with all the time. So, I think something to talk about.
I think how we treat each other, how we treat people in general, is really telling of who we are ourselves. And also, I think it's important to treat people a certain way because you want the world to be a certain way.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, I think it's one of those things you have to be conscious of. Especially like when your day may not be going so well. Just because your day may not be going so well, something happened, you just treat people
terrible.
Yeah. And it's easy to do sometimes. It's like, I'm going through this, I really don't want to be bothered with anyone.
It's like just because you're going through something doesn't mean you have to drag everybody else down with you.
I believe everyone is going through something, in their own way, or, some people like, well, and then too, let's not compare struggles, because everything is huge to that person. What may seem light to me is may be big to you, in your life. So I think you need to be aware of that as well.
One person's struggle may be somebody else's blessing, so you never know what your words can do to somebody. Saying, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. We talk about that all the time. Parents saying stuff to children like, oh, it's not a big deal that your friends don't like you anymore, or blah, blah, blah. No, that's a big deal to a child. No, they don't have to worry about how the house is going to get paid or getting to work on time or blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean what they're going through isn't a big deal. It's the biggest thing they've had to do. I feel like a superhero with how the mirror is covering my eyes. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But I think that's an important thing to remember, because I remember when I was a kid, hi Mom, you're awesome. But when I was a kid, my mom used to, I would come home and I'd be like, oh my gosh, these kids were making fun of me or blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, you don't understand this and that, blah, blah, blah. Just get over it. What do you mean just get over it? This is the most traumatizing thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and you're sitting here telling me that I just need to, get over it.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Oh,
but I don't tell you to get over the fact the electric bill won't get paid. I know that those are, now as an adult, I know those are two very different things. But at the time, that was the worst thing I've ever had to deal with.
Yeah. Yes, because that's where you at, in your life. To be conscious of that. So, you may have been through something, and it's and then you see someone else going through, you're it's not that big of a deal. But you gotta remember, that person been through it. You've been through it. They may not have been through it, and they don't know how to handle it. Everyone handles things differently, too. Some people, a lot of times, you may not have, the knowledge to deal with certain situations, too. That's another thing.
Yeah, don't tell people how to deal with things. I think it's important if you see somebody self-sabotaging, or they're doing something that's harmful to themselves or to somebody else, then you can speak up. But if somebody deals with something a certain way, as long as it's not hurting somebody, you can't tell them that the way that they're dealing with it is wrong. Because it's not wrong, it's just different than how you deal with something.
Exactly.
People deal with stress very differently.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's...
Your signal lost.
For example, him and I might deal with stress differently. I might cry, or I might, be upset if something, hurts me or whatever. And he might just, bottle it up and not say anything. Be like, well, I just don't want to talk about it. Those are two different ways to deal with things, but that doesn't mean that they're wrong. The only way that they would be wrong is if, say, he bottled it up and then exploded later on, like in a very unhealthy way.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have a right to say something like, hey, like, this is not healthy, this is not conductive to yourself or to us or to, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's my right as, his partner to say something about that, And just same thing if his parents said something or his family said something, But at the same time, you can't be like, well, you don't talk about how you feel, so that means that you're wrong. That means you're not really stressed out like you say you are.
Yeah.
Just like he can't tell me, oh, well, you're too emotional, or, oh, well, you can't keep it together because you're crying because you're upset that somebody yelled at you. I cry when people yell at me. I can't help it. He doesn't, obviously.
No. But yeah.
But the only way that he could tell me, like, me being upset is wrong is if I went nuts. Like, hysterically crying, like, throwing stuff all over the place. Like, that's not healthy.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Like, what's wrong with you?
But I think you need to say it in a decent manner when you bring it to somebody's attention. Like, how you talk to them is important.
Yeah.
You're just being like, you're stupid for that.
Yeah, no, that's not productive. How is that going to help the situation? I mean, if you want to talk to someone, trying to help the situation, be understanding. Don't come there and beat them, kick them while they're already down. A lot of people do that. You got to watch who you talk to, too. Some people, they like that. They just like the drama of it, the information, so they can use it against you. But yeah, see, that's another way of treating people. It's like, how are we treating the people around us? At the work spot, at home. Random people, we come in contact with. How are you treating those people? Like, are you being conscious of what you're doing? Things like that. I think a lot of times we just don't really, that didn't get all wrong. We don't really talk about it or even think about it. It's just like, well, I'm having a bad day, so everybody else, some people are like that. I'm having a bad day and I'm going to let everybody know it. Okay, one, what makes yours so different? Basically, what makes you special? Like, if I'm having a bad day and everybody else is going to have a bad day, what makes me so special? How does that help me? It's making things worse. We have a tendency as people to just make things worse instead of helping.
Like, I always tell people, if you're having a bad day, go find somebody and make their day. Be so nice to people. Basically fake it until you feel it. That's why I always tell my associates, like, if you're having a bad day or you're having a rough time with stuff or blah, 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 go out and find a customer and be so disgustingly nice to them that they look at you like you're nuts. I will tell you right now, you will all of a sudden just feel like, okay, man, that wasn't so bad, blah, blah, blah. And then you find the next person and the next person, and then suddenly you're like, my day might not be so bad,
Well, you got your mind off of it. I feel like we're dealing with things. Like, okay, when I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm away from work, I'm away from work.
GPS signal
Then I'll
lost.
deal with it then. But I didn't go around like a lot of people. They don't know what's going on with me because, one, I don't talk about it and you don't see it. I purposely do that. Because two reasons. One is, it's no one's business.
You are on the fastest route.
Two,
You should
I'm
reach
going to go
your
around
destination by 4:55 p.m.
being a virus, making having a poisonous atmosphere.
Yeah, there is no point.
Nah, I'd rather do the opposite. Have fun. You can say there's things I don't like, or things I'm dealing with. But that shouldn't be the next person's problem. Like, everyone's going through something.
I think that's important to remember that both, at work and at home, like with your friends or your family or whatever, if something is going on, outside of the home or this or that or outside of your family, it's important, like, that you address it with your family, like, hey, like, this is a problem or blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, it shouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm just going to, act like home is the problem. When it's not. Like, that's not fair to treat people in a way that they don't deserve just because you're dealing with something. And that goes both, like, if you get into a fight with your boyfriend or your girlfriend right before you go to work, that's not a customer's fault. That's not, you know, one of your coworkers' fault.
No.
You don't need to be a jerk to them because your significant other was a jerk to you. Just like you don't need to go home and be a jerk to your partner because somebody else was a jerk to you.
Yeah.
All that's going to do is cause, you know, problems in both places.
Exactly. It's like, how are you changing the situation? Are you adding to it or are you changing?
Exactly. And if you can't change a situation, then either you deal with it or you don't deal with it. Those are your two options. Either you deal with the fact that you have a situation you can't change and you accept it, or you rebel against it, and that's not gonna be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or if it's something that you can change but you can't right now, either you deal with it or you rebel against it. Those are your two options.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dependent upon what type of person you want to be. Do you want to be that type of person that pushes back against everything? Or do you want to be the type of person that realizes that you can't do anything about it? So you just have to learn to process it and to let it go. Like, okay, I can't change how this person is acting, but I can change how I deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And most people will deal with negativity in a negative way.
Yeah, it's just fire with fire.
That's like trying to put out, you know, an electrical fire with an electrical wire, you know, like, ooh, let me see what I can do. Let me poke the bear.
Yeah, actually, you're hurting both. You're hurting yourself and you're hurting the person. There's no change. It's just making things worse.
And it's not healthy for yourself either.
That's
it's not healthy for the people around you, but it certainly isn't healthy for you. Like, that's not going to help you at the end of the day.
No.
Some people can get to high places in negative ways, but I don't understand how people can live with themselves. Like, if you want to be a decent human being, you need to live like a decent human being.
Treat people
like they're decent.
It's really true. Treat people how you want to be treated. It's funny, like, people treat people like crap, but the moment that person that they treat like crap does it to them, it's a big deal. It's like, I mean, two wrongs don't make a right either. You know, that's another thing too. Someone gets snappy with you, you don't have to get snappy back. Be the bigger person.
Like, it's funny how we kind of learned something like, well, I think you did a little bit like the other day when I learned a little bit when I had asked if something looked okay or this or that, blah blah. And he kind of paused for a few minutes, like, I'm like, okay, so you don't like it then? That's cool. He's like, no, I was just thinking. And I'm like, oh, so that must be how you react when he's like, do you mind if I, you know, stay at my parents or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's more of just a shock to me, like, oh yeah, okay, but that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine. He's like, oh, well, you're not okay with it. You know, he doesn't talk like that, by the way. He doesn't actually do that. But he instantly thinks, like, I'm not okay with something. Okay. The person was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, instantly, like, he assumes that I'm not okay with something if I pause. And now it's funny, I see what he means. Like, when he paused the other day when I asked if something looked okay, I'm like, oh, clearly these shoes do not match, because he's saying he waited a second to answer me, but he was just thinking, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's funny how, like, the tables kind of turn on you a little bit, like, oh, okay, I get what you mean now.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, I asked him, like, okay, well, do you see why I'm like, you're crazy for thinking this just because I paused? He's like, oh, no, I do get it. So it's funny, we both kind of learned something like shoe on the other foot at the same time. So, but I think it's good to learn stuff like that, like learn where people are coming from. Now, mind you, everybody thinks so differently.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks the same and differently all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to remember that you have to treat people the way that you want to be treated, but remember that they are not you.
Right.
So just like sometimes you have to treat people a little bit differently than somebody would treat you just because they're different than what you are. You have to talk to people a certain type of way. And that's up to you if you want to learn.
Take exit 40B for I-75 north toward Flint.
If you want to learn that or not. Some people, you don't care. You're like, I don't care how I'm supposed to talk to you. This is just what it is. It's a universal truth. That's what it is. I'm not about to learn who you are as a person so I can speak to you properly.
Right.
But there's some people that you do want to take the time off and be like, okay, let me learn the way that you think, let me learn the way that you deal with things, you know, and we've been together for a while, for a couple of years now, and we still learn that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's never ending. You know, it's really not, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to get all the way over it.
You can probably wait to get around this truck.
Okay.
But no, it is. It's dependent upon you. It's
Get over it.
Yeah, it's dependent upon you as to whether or not you want to learn how to treat people properly too.
Yeah.
You know, like the way that he treats me is going to be a little bit different than the way he treats like some random person on the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And at one point, I was just some random person, and he had to learn how to be able to treat me. Just the same way I had to learn how to be able to treat him, how to talk to
In a
him.
half mile, take exit 40B for I-75 north toward Flint.
At least that weird one. You got to change up. So I just get over now.
Yeah, I think it's this one. Let me make sure. I can't see past this truck. Yeah, this one. Be careful, so it doesn't have stopped. Hi, everybody. We're driving.
Oh, yeah, we're
Take
driving.
exit 40B.
Yeah, I'll talk once I make this. Focus. Focus.
I'll talk.
Continue on I-75
Maybe
north
not.
for 11 miles.
Okay. But I think it is important to, you have to decide to want
In
to treat
1,000
people
feet,
properly.
take exit 40A for I-75 south toward Detroit.
What?
Take exit 40A, then take exit 77A.
Don't listen to us. You just keep going straight. Your GPS is off the wall.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on?
But no, seriously, I think you really have to make that decision to want to treat people right, and then you decide like how you go about that. But I think that's the most important thing of actually being a person, because to be honest, most people have a lot of power when they find people that they care about. Like, you have a lot of power in your words and in your actions.
Yeah, that's a
and,
good point.
and all this. Like, sometimes I think, like, if he were just to be like, I hate you, I don't ever want to speak to you again, like, that would be very hurtful to me. That would be very painful. But I think it would be different if some random person like popped up and was like, oh my goodness, I do not like you.
Yeah,
I think
don't
you're
care.
stupid.
Yeah,
Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know you anyway, so I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, because can you imagine the difference? Like, if I were to be like, Jonathan, I think you are such an idiot. You are so stupid.
Yeah, I won't like that for him.
Mm-hmm. That would hurt. Versus, like, some random person being like, you're stupid. You might be like, okay. Like, that's not very nice, but...
Yeah, I won't like that too. But yeah, I don't think it'll hurt as much.
I think people need to realize the weight that they carry when dealing with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important. The weight you carry with people is very, very important. Like, some people are easily destroyed. Like, you can easily destroy somebody that you don't even know.
Yeah, you have tough skin too, though, in anything. But yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a certain toughness to you. You need to find a certain toughness, but you need to be able to have a little bit of softness too. I think that's very important, especially when dealing with people that you care about. You have to have a certain amount of softness in order to deal with people. Because you can't just have a hard heart. You have to find a way to have a kind heart. Regardless of how people act and treat you, you need to be able to not be the person that destroyed you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If somebody in your past has broken your heart, has destroyed you, has made you feel mentally weak, has, they're not in control of you.
No. But if you hate them, they are.
They are. If you let
Control you.
you let what they say control who you are, I'm gonna use my mom's words, get over it. Deal with it, process it,
Yeah, you have to forgive.
grieve over it if you have to. Pretend like it's a funeral. Some things you have to grieve how people act towards you. Like, you lose a friendship, you go through a divorce, you break up. Sometimes you have to act like that is dead, like that's the thing that just died. Like, you have to grieve what just happened. And that's okay, but you have to be able to let that go. You have to be able to move on. Like, yeah, it might be painful, just like losing somebody. You never truly get over losing somebody who dies. You just never do. You never totally get over it. But you learn to live with it. Just like, people who act a certain way towards you, you have to learn to live with that. You have to learn to deal with that in a way that's healthy for you.
Yeah.
You can't let you can't let somebody's like death dictate how you live the rest of your life, unless it's in a positive manner. Just like you can't let somebody's hatred, like somebody's negativity towards you dictate the rest of your life.
No.
Just like you don't want to be that person who is that person who destroys somebody else.
Yeah, like it's like you were saying, going back to what you said, like it's power. You do, you have power. You may not think so, but you do. There's power in life and your tongue. You say things, what you say. It is, and your actions. Plus, how you treat people. And there's always someone watching how you behave. Always.
Mm-hmm.
You may not say anything, but there's always someone watching. Just be conscious of it.
And I think people overuse the phrase that actions speak louder than words. I think they do in a certain way, because just like you can tell somebody, oh, I'll always be there for you, I will always care about you, I'm never going anywhere, blah blah blah, but guess what, they're gone. They don't talk to you anymore. They don't answer your phone calls. They don't answer your text messages.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about you anymore. That's just what it is, unfortunately. But that goes back to you just have to, grieve that portion, let it go, move on, find something else to do with your time instead of, sending somebody text message after text message. Don't be obsessive. Don't be crazy. It's not good for you. It's not good for you, not good for them. Not good for anybody. Anywho, but you have to stand behind what you say.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell somebody, I care deeply about you and I want you to know that, well, you can say that all day long, but if you don't act like it, you don't have to be underneath somebody 24/7. You don't have to show up with flowers and candies and chocolates and, be there 24/7 with gifts and, things like that. But you do, in a certain way, have to show, like, hey, I'm here and I care.
Mm-hmm.
And people do that differently, and you have to recognize that people do that differently. I think is important too, recognizing the difference of how people show that they care.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might write a letter that says I love you with hearts all over it, and that's how I can show I care. And he'll show up with flowers, and that's how he shows he cares sometimes. So it's so different, but you also have to remember people accept that differently too.
Mm-hmm.
And people need different things.
Yeah.
Like he might need shoes and, kissy faces to feel cared about.
I don't need kissing faces.
It's an example.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I take the shoes, though.
But he might need, stuff and to show he cares, and I might need like words of affirmation and hugs, things like that. So but that all comes back to how you want to treat that person. Like, do you want them to feel cared about? Do you want them to feel loved? Is that what you want? If you don't care, if no, then that's what it is. Unfortunately for the other person, but that's just what it is,
Yeah.
But you have to make that choice. Make the right choice. Everything comes down to choice. You choose how you want to be. You choose, like you can't choose how you react, but you can choose how you continue to act.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like you can choose. Like you can't help if you look at somebody out the way, like, the heck did you just say? But then if you're like, okay, let me think about that. No, actually, blah blah blah. Then you choose how you act after that, after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't help that. Well, I can't help that I reacted horrendously when Glenn died.
From The Walking Dead. If you watch The Walking Dead,
We'll talk about it. But I can choose to be like, I love Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be like, everything is terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to send like hate mail to the people
Some
who...
people freak out.
I'm not going to send hate mail to those people who killed them off. That's my choice, to be a decent person and not to send hatred out in the world.
Right.
Because I don't want to act like that towards people, because that's not nice.
I treat people how you want to be treated.
I want somebody sending me hate mail because I kill off somebody in one of my stories that I write. Shoot. I want people to be mad and be like, how dare you? But I don't want them saying that to me. I don't like mean stuff.
Yeah, just be conscious of how you treat one another. Especially people you're in contact with daily. You know.
It's so important because you can really hurt people. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to hurt people. Just like you don't want people to hurt you. I think it's so important with how we treat people. Because if we treated people the way that we would like to be treated, or even if we treated people the way that they needed to be treated, this world would be perfect. If we treated the people the way that God wanted us to treat people, we would be perfection.
Now look, Trump.
I've seen like 5 of those since we've been driving the Trump stuff. Hey, Trump.
But yeah, so me, that's I don't really have nothing else to say about it. I think you said a lot of meaningful things. It made sense. So, yeah.
I have lots of views on how people should be treated. Because I care about humanity. I care about people.
In a half mile, keep left to stay on I-75 North.
I care about people. I care about how you guys are treated. I care about how everybody's treated regardless. And I think most people don't.
No.
I don't think people care about people. They only care about selective people.
I mean, some people don't just care about themselves. They care less.
And those are always the people that people think that care about everybody. Are the people who are the most selfish people. Because I have dealt with so many selfish people, so many self-centered people, so many people who think that the world is only about them. And I feel like people like that flock to people who are like me, who care about everybody. Because if you only care about yourself, that's fine. I'm not requiring you to care about me. You know?
Yeah.
I'm so busy caring about other people, I forget about myself, and then every once in a while I look at myself. It's funny, I think he gets the bad end of that sometimes. Like when he is into work so much, or this so much, or that so much, I'm fine with it up until a certain point when I'm like, wait a minute, what about me? And then I just kind of blow up like, you never care about me ever.
Like what?
I get like bursts of self like worth, like, oh gosh. But I would not be with him if he treated me terrible, though. He's a great boyfriend.
You're a great girl.
Thanks. I may or may not have paused so that way you can say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did.
I did a little bit. I didn't even think about it. Don't do that. Don't expect people to say things about you.
No, don't ever expect. Like if you tell someone, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, yeah. If you tell someone how you feel or whatever, don't expect them to do the same. You gotta. That's for you. You doing that for you.
Do not ever tell somebody something with the expectation of having something said back to you.
I did that. It sucks. You're like,
You're like, ooh, I think you're so cute, and I think you're so nice, and I think you would make the best person ever. And they're just like,
yeah, like I really like you, and you know, like, do you like me? It's like,
eh.
So yeah, just do it to get it off your chest. Please don't expect. That's like if you're doing something for someone, you shouldn't. Me personally, you know, you shouldn't go into it. This is another subject, but I'm just going to talk about this real quick. Because some people, they do things for people, but that's not there's motives behind it. They do it.
Most people. Not
they're
some
doing
people,
something.
most people.
They're recording it. Like if they're giving out shoes, they're giving out food. They want it broadcast. Like, did you ever think, like, maybe the people that you're helping didn't want to be on TV, or they didn't want to be on Facebook or Instagram?
Like, it's those celebrities that go to the children's hospitals and have no cameras around.
I respect them.
I understand, like, if they show up and cameras follow them, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Or if you're on a TV show and you're doing it anyway because you want to, okay. But for the most part, people only do things that are going to benefit themselves. Like, they don't care about those kids.
Yeah. That's when they get told to do it.
Like, oh, we'll do this for a publicity stunt or blah, blah. But we also don't live that life, so we don't know 100%, you know. I think some people get bombarded with
I think
things,
some,
you know.
yeah, they get told, you know. But I'm not talking about celebrities. I'm just talking about, you know,
Oh,
everyday
yeah.
people right now. It's like, if you're doing something, don't do it so you can look back and be like, don't keep count.
No.
So well, I did such and such for you. I did this for you. I did this for you. Okay, you made that, but like, have the right motives behind it. Do something because one, because you can, and two, to help.
Like, I'm not about to rub his feet and be like, well, I rubbed your feet, so...
Yeah, like, don't do things just, you know, don't keep a tab.
No.
You know,
Do things
you
because
owe me for this one. Like,
do things because you can and because you want to and because it's beneficial for somebody else. Stop thinking about yourself and go do something for somebody else selflessly. I think if people were more selfless, this world would seriously be so much better. Because everybody would be so concerned with everybody else that it would come full circle. Because then somebody would be concerned about you. I tell him all the time, if I am only concerned about you and you are only concerned about me, we will be taken care of 24/7.
yeah, take care of each other.
Take care of each other. I think that's what the world is lacking. You take care of each other. You don't just take care of yourself. You don't just do things for yourself.
No.
You know? It's not about you.
No.
This world is not about you.
We ain't never had it all. That's right. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, you have anything? I don't have anything else to say about it.
Nope.
So we appreciate you all, the views.
Thank you. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch us.
Yeah, to watch it, you know, because we just appreciate it. You know, speak for both. You know, like to say you appreciate it, I appreciate it. And you know, we're gonna keep making these videos on topics. And like I said, always feel free to leave a comment. You know, you can like, oh, you know, Joey, I want you guys to talk about this, or you know, any questions or something you may be going through, or like, you can always, like I said, we both have Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, inbox. But yeah, just mainly just, you know, we have fun doing this, and we do really enjoy the views and everyone taking time out to watch. So just want to tell you, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, make sure you make sure you hit that like button.
Yeah, the like and subscribe. You know, let's get this thing going. Oh, you know, so
Gotta
yeah.
pump it up.
All right, so yeah, always remember to subscribe and like. You know, like I said, we really appreciate you all. So thank you guys. I love you all. Until next time, you know, you all have a great day, great night, wherever you may be, and remember, just treat people with respect. You know, be kind.
Be kind to one another.
Oh yeah. Don't let someone change your personality or over you. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.